Hi my loves, so for today I did something very simple and cute for Valentine's Day, so if you want to see how I did this, then please keep watching. So the first palette I'm going to be using is this Moira Cosmetics Sweet Paradise palette, and it is so gorgeous. I'm going to be dipping into the shade Carefree. Using this brush by Lamour Beauty, I believe it's the number 111, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that pink shade at a time and then just slowly start to apply it and build it up into the crease area. Now I like to build up my colors. I don't like to apply too much at once. This shade is very pigmented, but it's my first time working with it, and like always I like to see how they blend out, so I'm going to take a little bit at a time and, like I said, just build up that color. And then with small circular motions I'm just going to buff it upwards, and I use a very light hand as always. I always hold the brush towards the end. Next, with the Ooh La La palette by Colourpop, this is a perfect Valentine's Day palette. I'm going to take this shade Sandbar on this Lamour Beauty brush. I believe it's number 112. And I'm just going to use that shade to buff out this pink shade that we applied. Again, I will be taking small portions of the product at a time and then just blending it upwards. So I'm just going to fast forward this part so you guys can still see the process instead of just taking it out completely. Now for this look, I'm going to keep the edge a little bit more rounded. It's up to you if you want to keep it round or if you want to make it a little bit more sharp. And just keep blending, guys. Just keep blending until your hand falls off. I'm just kidding, but seriously. And I'm not going to take it all the way to the brow. It's up to you how high you want it. I'm going to keep it about right here. Next, I'll be taking a tiny bit of this shade Caddy from the Colourpop palette on the first brush that we used, and just a little bit, and I want to apply it in the crease just to deepen it up a little bit more. And then take a little bit of Sandbar again and then just buff that upwards. And now I'm going to take this blending brush with nothing on it, and I'm just going to blend this upwards to make it a little bit more soft and then really smooth out those harsh edges. And as always, just keep blending until you're happy with it. I like to really smooth out my edges, and I like to have that soft gradient effect, if you can already see that it's producing. Next, as always, I'm going to be taking this Moira Cosmetics Mega Concealer, and I'm going to use it on a concealer brush to cut my crease. Now we're only going to do a half cut crease here, and so I'm going to take a little bit at a time. What I like to do is start by covering a good portion of the lid area, and then I always use strokes. I always drag it downwards like so. And now here is where you can determine how high you want to take it. I like to look upwards just a little bit to give me that guideline. And I keep it as parallel as I can to my actual crease line. But just be careful not to look too far back when doing this, because it will transfer higher and then it can potentially mess up your cut crease. So just be careful with that. Now once you've shaped it to your liking, then I like to go in and smooth out the concealer. This is going to give you a more seamless blend. I'll use my finger, sometimes I use a brush, but whatever you're most comfortable with. And then I take the brush and then I flatten out the concealer on the lid area, just so that it's not creasing as much and it's easier to apply shadows over it. And I don't set the concealer, because if I do, then it's harder to apply those metallic shades over it. So just remember that. Don't set the concealer, just go straight into applying your shadows. Next, I will be picking up the shade Delicious from the Moira Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to take it on a small flat brush. And I believe this one's by Morphe, but there's no number on it. So I'm going to apply that all over the area that I applied concealer. And I always apply it first by patting motions just to get it to stick over that concealer, and then I like to go back and add another layer or two. Next, I will be applying some of this Slave to Pink shade by Colourpop, and I'm going to apply that towards the end of this cut crease. And I'm just going to pick some up with my finger just to get more color payoff. And if you don't have this shade, then there's some other pretty shades in one of those two palettes that you can choose from or substitute for. Next, I'll be taking a little bit of that shade Caddy and just applying it on the outer corner. And now I'll be applying another layer of that white shadow just to blend this over. Now for the lower lash line, I'll be applying some of that shade Caddy. And then I'll be applying some of that shade Carefree over that. And now I'll just be taking a hint of that shade Sandbar just to blend this out. Now I think the look looks great just as is, but I want to give it a little bit more flair and I want to add some glitter to it. So now I'm just going to dab a little bit of glitter glue. This is the NYX glitter primer. I'm just going to dab it a little bit on this white shade. And now I'm just going to take a mixture of these items here. I believe the hearts are like for nails. I bought everything off Amazon. If I can find the links, I will link them down below for you guys. But I'm going to apply just a few on the inner corner and as well as my lid. So as you can see, I'm just using a pencil brush just to apply them. Whatever brush works for you, then go for it. And here I'm just going to dab some on the inner corner. Now for mascara, I'm going to be using this one by Colourpop. And then I'm going to apply some lashes. So this is the final look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you have a very great Valentine's Day, even if you don't do anything. Which I probably will not. I'm not too sure about that. But thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything specific you want to see next, then leave a comment down below. And we'll see you next time.